25 Dragon Ball plot holes discussed or debunked. Okay, so here's one that maybe you can explain because I don't exactly remember the exact details of this. But basically, there's two stories about Goku escaping Namek after it explodes. Mm-hmm. And one has to do with escaping in a Saiyan pod that we never saw. But I know for sure, like in the anime, you watch the planet explode and Goku is still like on the planet. So I don't know. I think this is a plot hole. But
didn't they go back and add a scene of him finding a Saiyan pod? Though?
I don't know. If they did, I don't remember it.
So yeah, he was on Frieza's ship. The controls weren't working, and then the planet kind of exploded. I think it was more for kind of plot, like kind of like a suspense
cliffhanger,
kind of deal. The planet probably didn't actually explode right there, and maybe it was just like an explosion, like the planet was getting ready to explode, and Goku screamed or whatever, and then it cut away, and then it's like, oh, what happened after that? Well, the planet didn't fully explode yet. Maybe just it was prepping for an explosion. So I mean, again, sometimes you just have to go in there and kind of like add logic to some of the scenarios, even though it's not put right in front of you.
So speaking of planets blowing up, Kid Buu, blows up the Earth. Goku and Vegeta attempt to get the Namekian Dragon Balls to resurrect Earth and the population. But why haven't they brought back a planet before? Like, why has Vegeta not brought back his home planet? Why didn't they wish back the original Namek, do you think?
You can't wish back anything that's been dead for over a year, I think. Which is...
Is that true?
I think that was true for the original Dragon Balls. And obviously the Namekian Dragon Balls are more powerful. So obviously they were able to wish back...
the whole planet.
Yamcha. They didn't wish back Namek.
The population of the planet that died.
Well, they weren't dead for a year, but I would say that, someone that was still on King Kai's planet was dead for over a year. Yeah. I feel like when they brought him back, because you had to recharge him for a year. And it showed like kind of like a quick through, like, they were going back to the Dragon Balls every year. They would regather them and then wish some more people back. I think the first wish was to wish back everybody that was killed by Frieza.
Yeah.
And so all the Namekians came back, even though some of them should have not been brought back. I don't remember how many. Nail was with Piccolo. He wasn't even dead. Did Frieza even kill Guru?
No, Guru died of like old age. Like he just kind of like wilted away or whatever.
So why did he come back?
I don't know.
Did he come back? I'm pretty sure he did because they used Purunga. Maybe it was a stress-induced death with Frieza coming because Frieza was right there. He was fucking standing outside.
Yeah. Because they were fighting, not fighting, they were like talking when Goku was like making his wish to Purunga, and then Purunga like faded away when...
Goku never saw Purunga.
Who was that then?
Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta were all there. Well, Vegeta wasn't there yet. They made a wish to bring back Piccolo, and then Vegeta showed up and was like fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And he wanted to get immortality, and they were about to wish for it, and then the Dragon Balls turned to stone because Guru died.
Okay.
So Frieza had long since been gone. From Guru, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or wait, no, Frieza was right there. He was fighting Nail while all this was happening, and then he got pissed because Guru died.
Because he was rushing towards Purunga.
All right, so so somehow fucking Guru came back. That's a plot hole. Frieza didn't kill him. Frieza didn't kill most of the Namekians, honestly. It was like Zarbon and Dodoria that did that.
Or maybe it's just because of Frieza's doing.
Yeah.
And I guess you could argue that Guru died because of stress or something, I guess. I don't know.
But see, they used the Earth Dragon Balls to do that with Kami. Because Kami was brought back when they wished back Piccolo.
Yeah.
And so they used the Earth Dragon Balls for that. And then somehow they got the Namekian Dragon Balls. Because, I mean, man, it's been so long. Guru came back, right?
Guru came back.
Okay, this just doesn't. It's just so stupid. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's a fucking plot hole. He shouldn't have come back.
I'm 90% sure he came back. Because didn't they wish with Purunga on Earth at one point? I thought for sure they did.
Man, I'm gonna.
Unless Dende, no, because Dende never had the power for the Namekian Dragon Balls. I don't remember. I don't know.
I mean, Dende did make new Dragon Balls after Piccolo absorbed Kami.
For Earth.
Yes, for Earth. And those Dragon Balls give you 2 wishes, I believe. They still weren't as powerful as the Namekian Dragon Balls.
Correct.
Fucking Guru knew what he was doing when he made some goddamn Dragon Balls. They use Purunga, which I don't even know if the year limit applies to Purunga or not, but it applies to the Earth Dragon Balls, or at least the original set of Earth Dragon Balls. You couldn't wish someone back if they'd been dead for over a year.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about Dragon Balls later on. I have a whole thing about just Dragon Ball inconsistencies, which I combined into one.
What was the question again? Wishing back planets?
Like why didn't Vegeta...
Wishing back Vegeta. So yeah, that was the thing. One, Vegeta doesn't really care anymore. Like, sometimes he acts like he cares, sometimes he doesn't.
I mean, don't you think he'd wish back his father, at least, or something?
Maybe.
Because family is a big thing for Vegeta, as we see later on in the series.
And Super, when he kind of calms down. But also, he's calmed down. And, I mean, look at what Vegeta was when he first showed up. And look at Nappa. If you wish back the entire Saiyan race, so if he has the power to do that, which he does with the Super Dragon Balls now, if you have the power to bring this back, you've just brought back a really problematic race.
Yeah.
That, like, I mean, don't want to say Frieza was right, but Frieza, did kind of take care of a potential
threat,
huge
yes.
problem down the line, whereas there was an entire race of these dudes that had basically unlimited potential, and they were just fucking wild, barbaric, and crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Vegeta understands at a certain point. At first, his wish was for immortality. He was selfish. He was just like all the other Saiyans. They probably would have wanted to wish for the same exact thing. He wanted to wish for immortality. He'd be the fucking dude, okay? So, he'd be unstoppable. He'd rule the universe. That's all he cared about, was ruling the universe. Later on, when he kind of started thinking more about family and all that shit, it was probably more of a kind of a thing where maybe it was still too late. I don't know. And if he does that, they're not going to be like some people that you can just control and make them do good. They've been raised to conquer planets and kill mercilessly and do all that. And Vegeta, who's kind of lightening up a little bit, kind of settling down onto Earth and everything, more concerned with his rivalry with Goku and surpassing Goku, and probably just doesn't want to deal with problematic Saiyans. And Goku just never cared about the Saiyan race to begin with.
Right. Okay. So, speaking of Vegeta and Frieza, we learn early on that they are much stronger than King Kai.
Yeah.
So, as we know, when all the villains die, they go to the spirit realm thing, where they go to their version of hell or whatever.
Yeah.
So, at like some point, we see Cell and like all the villains they killed just like hanging
Filler.
out. Yeah. So, what is preventing them from overthrowing the Kais? All these villains.
Well, that's the thing, is that in the actual canon, they don't have their bodies. Just like they told Vegeta that he wouldn't have his when he sacrificed himself on Earth. Piccolo said, "Yeah, you're not gonna keep your body." How did Piccolo keep his body? I guess maybe he redeemed himself enough by that point. And really, Piccolo Jr. never really did anything bad.
No, I mean, he was me. I mean, he was in the world tournament because he wanted to take.
He wanted to kill Goku and take over the world and all that. But I mean, did he ever kill anyone?
No.
So I mean,
not to my knowledge.
So I mean, he never really did anything bad. And he sacrificed himself for Gohan and technically saved the planet from Raditz. The villains, technically, they don't have their own bodies. Frieza's in his own, like, the only canon depiction of a villain in Hell is Frieza. And as you know, he's just trapped in his own personal hell.
Yeah, he's in a cocoon with a bunch of little stuffed animals.
He can't escape. He can't overthrow that. That's his own personal hell. There's nothing he can do unless, Baba comes and gets him or he gets wished back. Same thing's happening to Cell and to... I don't even think Cell would probably even have a fucking hell because he was a fucking android.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see him in filler.
It's in filler. So, I mean, in real canon, like, none of that stuff actually applies. Majin Buu, I mean, we never do see him in Hell, but I would assume it's kind of like the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
debunked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything you see is filler.
Okay, so...
Especially Cell and Frieza teaming up.
Yeah, I don't know.
So goofy. And they did it like 3 times.
Yeah. So, as we learn in Dragon Ball Super, there are many, many different universes besides our own, with a lot of powerful fighters.
12 or 11?
12.
Potentially 3 more now that all the erased universes are back.
Yeah. So, why, when Kid Buu was destroying our universe, did the Kais not reach out to Whis, Beerus, or anyone else to help prevent this? And there's also a thing where the Kais could have went to Universe 6 and recruit Hit to help out, or something like that. Like, why did the Kais not do anything when Buu was destroying the universe?
The Kais did do something. They tried to get Gohan to... they tried to unlock Gohan's potential to stop all this from happening, and it would have worked if, Gohan didn't let Gotenks fight Super Buu. And then, not just Gotenks, but I think Piccolo got absorbed too. Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
My thing is with this is the end of Dragon Ball Z in Japan was the early 90s. And they didn't even do this...
Mid-90s.
They didn't even do this new universe stuff until 20 years later. So, I don't think you can really call that a plot hole when it wasn't even thought of yet.
It was just expanded. They just expanded the universe later on. But I mean, with expansion comes potential problems like that. Now, you can't reach out to Beerus.
Because here's the thing, would they even care?
Beerus is a god of destruction. So, I mean, like, him doing that isn't really his, like, affairs. His thing is to go and destroy planets that don't really haven't evolved properly or just have no use in the universe to keep their mortal level pretty high or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the Kais are of creation, and obviously they didn't want Earth to get destroyed, but their plan was to get Gohan, and like I said, it would have worked. By all intents and purposes, Ultimate Gohan was definitely strong enough to take out Buu. Especially Fat Buu. When he first showed up, Ultimate Gohan would have beat him, and they were already working on it then. And then he was strong enough to beat Super Buu as well. And then he let Gotenks get absorbed. So, I mean... That's just what that is. They didn't need to go recruit anyone else. They had a plan. And then by the time the plan fell through, you didn't really have much time to go all the way to another universe and to figure it out. How would they even get to the Beerus planet?
I don't know.
They can't travel that fast. Can they?
No, but I mean, you would think the Kais would be able to talk to Whis.
Whis can, but I mean, they would need to be able to talk to Whis, and Whis.
But would they even care? Like, if they did reach out, like, I can understand like them not wanting their power level as a universe to drop because that's where, because Boo is about to destroy the whole.
Whis can't
universe.
do anything, and one thing that a lot of people don't understand about Whis is he's never performed in actual combat yet in the series, and he likely never will. He's been said to be stronger than Beerus, and he's said to be stronger than pretty much just about anyone except for the Grand Priest
and the other angels. They're all about the same.
Same Grand Priest and then Xeno. But Whis will likely never fight a villain in Dragon Ball. The only time we've ever seen him in combat was training Goku and Vegeta, and to Whis, that probably wasn't even much combat because he was literally just fending them off with like one hand.
Because he could one-shot them if he wanted to.
Yeah. So reaching out to Whis and Whis, come help me. Whis isn't going to help. Whis' role is literally as Beerus' attendant. And I mean, Beerus was asleep during all this. So Whis would probably just be like, oh, Lord Beerus is asleep. I'm not going to wake him up.
Yeah.
Because he'll get pissed if I wake him up. Okay? So even if you could talk to him, that's probably a no-go. Hiring someone from another universe. I don't even think you were supposed to cross universes. I think it was forbidden.
Could be. Yeah.
Unless it was underneath Zeno's watch. Remember, he was pissed off that they did the Universe 6 and 7 tournament without him. So, I'm not sure if you're not allowed to cross universes or not. Obviously, now Goku and them have special privileges at this point in time. But again, they already had a plan that should have worked, could have worked, would have worked if things didn't go down the way that they did. Their plan was what they thought to be foolproof. It wasn't. And then there was another plan. Give Goku the Potara. They even had the backup plan. Give Goku the Potara, go fuse with Gohan. There was your backup plan. Well, Gohan got absorbed. Another backup plan. We sent Vegeta.
Yeah.
You can fuse with this motherfucker. And that should have worked because Goku and Vegeta, or Vegito, was stupidly stronger than Majin Buu. It was retarded how much stronger than Majin Buu he was. Just in a Super Saiyan form, from what I know, he never went Super Saiyan 2, and he definitely never went Super Saiyan 3, and we know he could go Super Saiyan 3, just based on calculations that Gotenks can go Super Saiyan 3, when neither one of the fusees that go into that can go Super Saiyan 3, or Super Saiyan 2 for that matter at that point. Correct. But their fusion can go Super Saiyan 3. Okay, one of these guys can go Super Saiyan 3 already. Well, the other guy could definitely go Super Saiyan 2.
Well, you can assume that Vegeta can go 3-2, but doesn't because he knows the risks.
Well, he can't go. He can't go 3 yet because he didn't have enough time to train in Otherworld to.
But I'm saying he has the potential to go 3.
He definitely has the potential to. Everyone has the potential to, but they need to spend a significant amount of time in Otherworld before they can do it, where they have a body that won't destroy itself doing that, even though Vegeta somehow became a god without destroying his own body. But I digress.
Yes.
That was also after Vegeta unlocked a whole new shit full of potential that he didn't know he had, where he surpassed Super Saiyan 3 without even doing the transformation.
Correct.
So, oh man, the Kais had several plans in place to handle Majin Buu. They didn't need to go to another universe, and everything worked out in the end. Although it got a lot worse before it got any better.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the Kais, King Kai explains to Goku that he would not be able to survive the vacuum of space because Saiyans need oxygen to survive.
That's a translation error.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But
not the vacuum of space. That's not. But the Saiyans needing oxygen and air
Is a translation.
translation error. It's never said that they need oxygen to breathe, and they've been depicted many times being able to breathe in outer space, not just in Battle of Gods, which was later on.
Which is what I'm...
But in Dragon Ball, Goku transports the Rabbit Gang to the moon using the power pole, I believe, or Nimbus. I can't even remember. But he goes into space without a spaceship or a spacesuit and is totally able to breathe.
Yeah.
So that's happened. And then even in filler episodes, if you want to count those, even though I shouldn't because I've written them off as filler before, but Vegeta and Nappa are standing in space when they destroy Arlia, the bug planet.
That's true.
And Bardock is in space when
what
Frieza destroys planet Vegeta.
I have Bardock in space, but you can chop that up to not being canon because it's in a movie. There's Vegeta.
TV special that Toriyama has basically made canon by later writing in the manga because he liked the special. Later writing a flashback into the manga that depicted Bardock in space when Vegeta was about to destroy planet Frieza. All the stuff about Bardock being able to see the future and all that stuff, that's all fucking filler, I guess. But the iconic moment with Bardock in space and Frieza destroying the planet is canon.
Okay, and then there's also at one point where Vegeta turns Super Saiyan on an asteroid.
That's filler. But again, like I said,
so it's just a translation error, not a plot hole. It's
a translation error. The oxygen is a translation error. Being able to breathe in space is one thing. It was the vacuum of space is the one that is not a translation error. So Frieza and King Kai are both in the original saying that if he destroys the planet, Goku can't survive in space because the vacuum of space will rip his body to shreds.
Okay.
Which is still kind of a plot hole because Kid Goku goes into space without getting ripped to shreds. He literally goes through the fucking atmosphere.
Yeah.
And without being able to be ripped into shreds. So, I mean, it's all kind of just inconsistent. It's definitely a plot hole, but the oxygen thing is not. And by the time we get to Battle of Gods, it's definitely not.
Space, yeah.
They're fighting in space. It's definitely canon. But Beerus is a god. He can breathe and exist wherever the fuck he wants to. And Goku's basically a god at that point too. So
correct.
He can do the same.
Okay. So speaking of Beerus, it's good that these are just like flowing into each other, I guess. Beerus says at the beginning of the Battle of Gods saga that he destroyed all the dinosaurs, which is clearly not the case.
No.
So that is a massive plot hole. Because as we know, they're very prevalent in Dragon Ball Z, and even in Super, we see dinosaurs all the time. Not all the time in Super, but all the time in the other two.
Okay, so this, again, you might have to just make your own logic, but he's basically just kind of, and this might even be a translation error, I'm not sure, because you've only watched the dub of this, right?
Of that particular saga, correct.
So, I mean, this also might be a translation error. That was kind of just meant to be a joke.
He could say that he destroyed a lot of the dinosaurs.
What it's referring to is one of the times that basically the Earth ended, which, I mean, happened. If you go back and look at a museum or something, it's happened like 7 fucking times.
Yeah.
There were different ages that all happened. So you could say that, yeah, maybe he did extinct the fucking dinosaurs, and then after the Earth kind of had a couple thousand years to regroup itself, the dinosaurs evolved.
Some of the dinosaurs came back. Yeah.
Evolved and came back as dinosaurs again. So, I mean, that could have happened, but it also could be a translation error.
Yeah. Because as we see, I guess the two most prevalent moments that aren't in Dragon Ball, in DBZ, when Gohan and Piccolo eat the tail, and then again in Super when they do it to the same dinosaur. Okay. So Trunks comes out of the hyperbolic time chamber with longer hair, because he's a half Saiyan. His hair can grow. And we've talked about this on the show before, but Vegeta's hair, when he comes out the first time, it stays the same. But in Super, they come out with full-ass beards. So I think we talked about this like on the last full episode. So it does not specify facial hair. It's just head hair.
Yeah.
It does not grow.
So I think that Toriyama has been long since okay with these guys being able to grow facial hair, because a lot of people don't know this, and you write off Dragon Ball GT because, I mean, it's not
It's retcon now. But...
It's not written by Toriyama, but I hate to break this people's hearts. It broke my heart when I saw it.
The Vegeta.
The original character designs for Dragon Ball GT, including Vegeta with a haircut and a mustache, they were all done by Akira Toriyama. He sent in these original fucking character designs, so it was Toriyama's idea to cut Vegeta's hair and give him the mustache. So he has given Saiyans mustaches before, and he did go against his own canon by cutting Vegeta's hair. So they also say that Saiyan's hair doesn't grow past its thing. I think that's the wording, right?
Doesn't grow past what?
Like, it won't grow past what it is. It doesn't grow.
Well, when it's Super Saiyan 3, it's different, but...
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But I don't have to cut my hair because Saiyan's hair stays the same.
Yeah.
So, theoretically, I guess you could cut it and it just wouldn't grow back.
Yeah.
Maybe, even though Goku's had his hair cut off and battles and stuff before and it just kind of grew back. But maybe those were just movies.
Yeah, I don't know. But you think King Vegeta was born with that goatee? I think that came in eventually.
Oh, yeah, that definitely came in. You also see that Nappa has a mustache.
Which he was probably not born with.
No, and you see in Bardock, the father of Goku, that Nappa has a piece of hair on his head.
Yeah.
That he shaved off. So,
Can Saiyans go bald, though? Can they lose their hair naturally but not grow back? Or does it just stay
I would say yes, because there are depictions of Saiyans with the kind of the...
The George Costanza.
The George Costanza, the horseshoe, as I like to call it. One of the Saiyans, no, this is a filler episode, but one of the fake Saiyans from the Mr. Popo area or whatever, he was bald.
Yeah.
And then I think one of Bardock's like henchmen was kind of bald, rocking the horseshoe thing.
Hello, boys and ghouls. I hope you're ready for a good scare, because this October, we're coming at you again with Season 3 of Lost on VHS. We hope you're ready for the spookiest show on the internet. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because this show is available exclusively on this YouTube channel. Watch it, if you dare.
So, next on our list,
Nappa, of course.
Next on our list, which is number 18. Oh, okay. So, this has to do... We were talking about this a little bit in the car on the way to the studio, with Goku transforming into a god. There are some people on the internet saying there's no way that could happen because it says you need the 6 righteous Saiyans, where 5 of them are putting their powers into the 6th one. So, people are saying that's not possible with all the half Saiyans and unborn Saiyan, and that Vegeta's heart is not truly righteous. So, for this, I don't think this is a plot hole. I think this is just people reading too much.
People just trying to get too much out of it. Okay, so Vegeta's heart's definitely righteous. He's saved the planet fucking 2 times, indirectly. I mean, yeah. But still, he was there and he was fucking on board. And I think that he got the rest of that, like, unpureness out of his system with the Majin Vegeta thing, where he definitely tried to put his life on the line to save everyone. So by the time he came back and by the time that Z ended, he was definitely a righteous-hearted Saiyan. Mm. He was no longer trying to destroy anyone. He was still an asshole, but that's just how he is. But he definitely loved his family. He definitely wanted to protect Earth. If anything ever showed up and it came down to it, he would fucking put his fucking balls on the court and try and protect Earth. There's no doubt that he would do these things at this point. And so he's definitely a righteous-hearted Saiyan. That's just absolute ludicrous. The half Saiyans, look, man, if Toriyama says it works,
it works.
You can't say it doesn't work. It definitely fucking worked, and so it works.
Because what, you've got
Hey, if a half Saiyan
four
can go Super Saiyan, then why can't they be a Saiyan in the fucking ritual?
So there's Gohan, Trunks, Goten, or the
The
half
only
Saiyans.
the only goofy one was Pan.
And Pan is what, a fourth?
She is like a quarter Saiyan.
quarter Saiyan.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
and she's not even alive yet.
yeah, she was unborn. I mean, she's technically alive.
Yeah.
But that was the one that was kind of a head scratcher. But I mean, I guess they just wanted to incorporate that in there somehow.
Well, that was their big.
I mean, because
moment.
honestly, if you really wanted to make an argument about it and say like, "Oh, a pan shouldn't work," and if Toriyama thought that was a problem,
They wouldn't have
then
done
all
it.
he had to do was just say, "Oh, you only need 4 righteous-hearted Saiyans
yeah.
to do the ritual." Boom, there's the problem solved. But he obviously didn't say that because he obviously wanted to incorporate Pan and Videl into that scene. So if he wanted to do it, and he's the writer, he can sure as fuck do it because he
Yes.
does whatever the fuck he wants to do. So,
And yes, I agree with all of this. So, speaking of that saga, Beerus slaps Bulma, and Bulma, who has no martial arts experience or anything, she does not die immediately. So, again,
Come on now, man.
I think this is just another instance of people know how to control their own powers. So,
Yeah.
obviously, he's not going to one-shot Bulma with a slap.
obviously, listen, Beerus obviously could kill Bulma with a backhand, okay? Because he's destroyed a planet with his finger. He fucking sent Goku flying with a flick, all right? So he could, but he's a fucking god. And if you don't think that Beerus doesn't know how to control his power enough to be able to slap a normal human without killing them, that all he wanted to do was just humiliate her,
Yeah.
then if you don't think he can control his power enough to do that, then I mean, stop watching because
Yeah.
you're fucking an idiot. I mean, if he doesn't know how to control his power enough to fucking not slap Bulma without killing her, then how the fuck does he even take steps on a planet without fucking caving
Yeah.
in the entire planet? How does he fucking chew food without even fucking destroying an entire universe?
Yeah.
Because he can't control his power, right? It's long since been known these people know how to control their power.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would even argue that fucking 100% Beerus could kill Goku with a flick
Yeah.
at that time, at that period of time.
Correct. Okay. So this is another one that I think we've touched on off of the show, but I don't know if we've talked about it on the show. Going Super Saiyan early on in Dragon Ball Z was a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Goku needed to see Krillin die, Vegeta's powering up and doing everything he can to get Super Saiyan until he finally gets it. But in Super, at least for the Universe 6 Saiyans, it is not difficult at all. And to a degree in Dragon Ball Z, the half Saiyans don't have to nearly go through as much of a process to be Super Saiyan as they do. So, a lot of people online, and I agree with this, is that the process of turning into a Super Saiyan has a lot to do with your emotions, obviously, because Goku obviously sees his best friend die. So the half Saiyans, they have more emotion because in fact they are half Saiyans. They have the whole human side to them. And then people say in Universe 6 the Saiyans are more in tune with their emotions because it's more, they're not destroyers, they're just more primitive. So I don't think this is a plot hole. I think this has to do, it's not outright explained, but I don't think this is a plot hole.
Here's the thing. It's not a plot hole. You need rage to turn into a Super Saiyan. That's what triggers the transformation. Goku was pissed off that he saw Krillin get killed. Okay. Vegeta was pissed off that he couldn't catch up with Goku. Trunks saw Gohan die in the future. That triggered his Super Saiyan transformation. I think Gohan got the ever-living piss beat out of him by his dad until he turned Super Saiyan.
Basically, yeah.
So, I mean, like, you got to get pissed off, turn Super Saiyan. I think the thing that people are mostly upset about is Kale and Caulifla being able to become Super Saiyan just based on an explanation as opposed to a rage trigger. Actually, Kale gets a rage trigger.
She needs to, yeah.
She gets a rage trigger. But Caulifla gets taught how. Vegeta, Kaba turning Super Saiyan early on is not a plot hole because Vegeta does exactly what we come to understand is to trigger a Super Saiyan transformation. He pisses him off enough until he gets a rage boost and he fucking transforms.
And part of it, I think, is obviously, like, there's Broly and stuff, which we don't see, like, in the series. But up until Goku and Vegeta, we had never seen a Super Saiyan, and they didn't even know what it is. So I think now that once they know how to do it, they can teach it much more efficiently.
Yeah. So I think that Kaba even tried to piss off Caulifla or whatever. I think he tried, and it didn't work. I think she just laughed at him or something, if I recall correctly. And so he ended up just like, well, there is this feeling that I get in my back. Maybe if you focus on that, you can do it. So, I mean, a lot of people got mad about that. It's kind of an unnecessary retcon. But regardless, Goten and Trunks, we can just assume that they pissed each other off screen at some point.
Yeah.
So, you know how it is when you get into a fight with your brothers or something when you're little. And, you know, somebody starts pulling the hair or bites you or something or punches you right in the face, you know, and you weren't supposed to. And then you just throw an absolute temper tantrum. We can assume that Goten and Trunks have one of those moments.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of Trunks, Vegeta prides himself very much on his family and his legacy. But until the special, like, young Son Goku and his friends or whatever, there's no mention of Torble until he actually shows up.
Tarble.
Yeah, Tarble. So if Vegeta is so proud of his heritage and so angry that there are so few Saiyans left, wouldn't he have tried to reach out to his long-lost brother, or at least mention at some point that he exists? And it is confirmed that this is canon, because during the Battle of Gods arc, he is mentioned by Vegeta.
Okay, so this isn't a plot hole. It's kind of odd. I'd say more of a plot hole is Bulma having a sister that nobody mentioned before.
Yeah.
The thing about Saiyans and like Vegeta and Goku, yes, they love their families. I'd say Vegeta loves his family a little bit more than Goku loves his.
Well, Goku just has the naivety, so he's not.
But Vegeta had to adapt to that. He didn't love his family at first. He reproduced, and as most Saiyans do, he just kind of went on his own way after that. He didn't care when fucking Bulma and Trunks almost died during the android arc.
Yeah.
He was more obsessed with being the most powerful. And, you know, like, it was nature's calling for him to fucking reproduce. That's just fucking hormones and nature. Whatever. He freaking banged the chick that, you know, was there. But he eventually adapted to it. I think that you could point to spending a year in the hyperbolic time chamber with his son from the future really kind of started Vegeta along a path of starting to care about his family and his son and everything. We don't really see much of what happened in there, but we can only assume that, you know, you lock yourself in a room with somebody for fucking a year that you're going to bond on some level.
Yeah.
Whether
he'll admit it or not.
I've always theorized that was it. I mean, and all the signs point to it as that, because after that point, he really starts to show a care and a respect to Trunks, even though he wipes him out before, you know. But, I mean, when he's fighting Second Form Cell, and I mentioned this on a Godcast before, you know, he starts bragging about Trunks. Mm-hmm. He's, you know, this is my son Trunks. He's the closest thing you'll get to me. He's exactly like me. You know what I mean? Like, if you somehow manage to beat me, he's going to beat your ass because he's almost as strong as I am. So there was that. And then when Cell came back and killed Trunks, and we all know what happened there. And Vegeta just absolutely lost his shit. He wasn't happy about it. So there's like a he started to care about his family, yes. But my whole point of this is that when it started, he didn't, And the way that Saiyans are bred is that they don't really care about their families. I don't even think that in Bardock, father of Goku, like Bardock really even cares about Goku that much until he starts to see visions of Goku and Frieza. You know, so like he kind of looks at him in the tank or whatever, and it's like his power level was 1. He's like, ugh, whatever, you know what I mean? He's going to Earth. You know what I mean? I don't think Saiyans ever cared about their families that much. And so the way Vegeta was brought up is like, yeah, I have this brother, but...
And plus he wasn't a fighter, really, so he had no reason to
weren't really
care.
close. And, you know, so... And, yeah, he's really weak. And so, like, one thing that Vegeta could always say he's proud of Trunks for is that Trunks is extremely powerful. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that definitely probably... wells up some pride, you know, as any father would be when he sees his son tearing shit up, and he's like, that's my boy right there, you know what I mean? So Tarbell's not like that. He's extremely weak and probably an embarrassment to the royal family. So I mean, like, Vegeta not mentioning him, and I mean, you can, like I said, you can assume that they didn't really have much of a relationship to begin with. Vegeta probably didn't even know if Tarbell was on Vegeta or not when it exploded.
Right. Cool. Okay. So this is one I was hoping we might get some clarification on watching a Boo Saga tape, but unfortunately we were watching an African-American family on trikes running around in their kitchen.
Home video.
Yeah. So Boo turns people into candy.
Yes.
But the show's pretty loose with what happens because of this. Some people are able to get their powers back, but for example, Deborah is not. So do you recall any...
Does he come back?
I don't remember. Like, that's why I said, like, I don't recall. I just read about it.
Oh, I thought Deborah just got turned into candy and eaten.
But doesn't he come back after?
I don't think so.
So this is just dead. So confirmed.
I guess. I mean, it's like the only thing... The other people that came back... Unless Fat Boo. Did Fat Boo get turned into candy?
Yes.
Okay. So Fat Boo got turned into candy, but here's the thing with Fat Boo is that regular rules don't apply to him because he's a Majin Buu. But all the other people that got saved by Vegito and brought back, they were absorbed. They weren't turned into candy. They were
like
just
Gohan.
They were overtaken by Super Boo. And, you know, Fat Boo being in there was kind of a surprise. But, you know, just the way that basically rules don't apply to Majins, I can only assume that he was able to just fucking turn himself not into candy once he got in there or something. Because you could see that, you know, if you're strong enough, that also Fat Boo ate Deborah, not Super Boo. So Deborah is probably still, if he didn't show back up for some reason... He's still chilling in Fat Boo's stomach.
Okay.
We saw with, like, Vegito, when he got turned into candy, he could still fucking fight because he was just that powerful. Fuck, he was fucking strong. So, I mean, I don't know. Who didn't get their powers back?
I don't know. I can't remember. I just know that I saw this on at least like 3 different lists that people were saying stuff like this. So.
That's weird.
Okay, so next, are Saiyans able to see the future is the question. Because Goku, when he's on Snake Way and dead, he's dreaming about Vegeta and Nappa coming to Earth and attacking Chi-Chi when he has not seen them at all. He has no idea what they look like. And also, Gohan dreams of Perfect Cell while he's in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Filler.
So, not plot hole.
They're filler. It's both filler. Goku hasn't even seen Cell at that point, much less Perfect Cell.
Yeah.
Wait. Did he see first or second form Cell?
I mean, even if he
I think Goku might have, like...
Even if he did, there's no way to predict what the Perfect Cell would have looked like.
Yeah, he didn't see Perfect Cell, that's for sure.
Because Perfect Cell looks nothing like...
First form.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit like second form.
Little bit.
But those are filler. That's all filler. No Saiyans can't see the future.
So
except for Bardock.
So if it's
Bardock can see the future.
So if it's all filler, it does not count at all.
It's easier to write off as, something that Toriyama didn't write.
Okay.
I mean, when you take into consideration, now Toriyama's no fucking genius or anything. Like, he definitely made some mistakes of his own, like the vacuum of space thing, and there's a lot of inconsistencies with him. But if you take the anime out of it, there's a lot less inconsistencies because there's a lot less filler to deal with.
Yeah. Okay, so our second to last one has to just deal with the Dragon Balls in general. So the rules are very inconsistent. Like, when people are brought back to life, it's never consistent where they're supposed to go. Sometimes, like Vegeta, when he gets brought back to life, he shows up where he died. Other times they'll show up with King Yama and they gotta be brought back to Earth. So it's just never consistent there. Sometimes you need to keep the body, like early on, to revive someone you needed the body, and later on you obviously don't. And then, like you said,
later on, there's not a body.
Exactly. And then you can't grant the same wish more than once, when sometimes that has occurred. And only the dragon is only as powerful as the person that created it, but even sometimes that seems a little strange with what the dragons can do. So the Dragon Balls are
Who created the Super Dragon Balls?
We don't know. We don't know.
Zeno.
I would assume Zeno, because they can essentially do anything, right?
Lord Slug created the Super Dragon Balls.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's inconsistent.
It's just everything's inconsistent.
Yeah, that's inconsistency. I don't know what to tell you on that one. There's just so many instances of things happening that if I got into it, it would, because we sort of got into it earlier with the Namekian Dragon Ball things and Guru and all that stuff, where he got revived inexplicably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I have nothing to add. It's just super. I mean, really, like, there's so much that, like, you could talk about each individual thing, but when it just comes down to it, everything is inconsistent. So, all right, our last one's a doozy.
Okay.
You ready for this one?
Okay.
Ready for this one? So Raccoon
Yeah.
is in a fight, loses most of his teeth.
Okay.
Immediately they're back. What happened? Does he have some mystical teeth growing power?
When did he get his teeth back?
Like immediately after they get knocked out, like the next shot, he has his teeth again.
He definitely didn't have all of his teeth when Goku beat him.
But he has most.
He's got like every other tooth when Goku beats him. He's definitely missing some teeth there, because there's a definite shot of him close up, because he's Raccoon will be your doom or whatever. Oh, he jumps at him. It's a close up of his face, and then it goes all shaky or whatever.
Yeah.
And it zooms out to Goku's got the elbow in his stomach.
Yeah. Right.
And you can see in that shot, especially in the close up, that he's missing teeth.
Just a quick Google search here to see.
Let's see if we can get the screenshot.
Basically, what I account this to is not even a plot hole. I would just say it's just
an animation.
It's an animation, because these people are like working on all this stuff. I mean, they're gonna have small animation mistakes now and then, but just thought it was a silly one to end on, so thought we'll end with Raccoon.
I wish that my phone would go faster. Let's see here. Yeah, see, like, so he's powering up to fight Goku right here. And you can see that he's missing
his front teeth.
And then
right there.
I definitely remembered that, was that he was missing a bunch of teeth there. So...
But I guess the thing is he had much more knocked out than what he's supposed to have now. And there might have even been a shot of him with even less teeth and then more teeth. So it's just not.
Here's the plot hole of the Raccoon fight, is that after Vegeta shoots him with like 1 billion blasts or whatever, and basically destroys all of his armor and nicks him up and shit, and all that, they say there's not even a scratch on him in the dub. And so I always thought that was dumb, even as a kid. I was like, obviously there's scratches on him.
Yes,
He's
obviously.
all fucked up. They just didn't. He just had a high pain tolerance, I guess.
That's true. All right. Anything else you want to say? I'm sure if people actually paid attention to what we were saying, they'll tell us in the comments everything we fucked up on and misremembered.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
hopefully Geekdom 101 will watch the video and debunk our video.
Yeah. So that's about it for this week. As always, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. We will have another Godcast sometime in the future.
Yeah, there should be some Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Heroes news coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whenever
We'll
that happens.
And yeah, so this is Super Saiyan Buddy the Bruiser.
Are we gonna do Backlash review next week? Or no, we have to wait 2 weeks for that.
The what?
Not Backlash, Money in the Bank.
Oh, I mean, we could. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But for now, this is Buddy the Bruiser signing off.
Super Saiyan Dynamite Jared powering down.